Hey everybody, it's Andy back with My Side of the Fence podcast, and I am here with Simone. Everyone knows who Simone is. You're like a first name person, right? Simone Reddington. So we've been chatting for a bit, and Simone's an interesting thing. The original office for my company, Matrix, that backyard and Simone's backyard, we're backyard neighbors. So
for years.
For years, that's kind of how we met. But Simone, tell me, I know, well, I mean, I know your family and your husband's family certainly, but tell everyone a little bit about, how you ended up right here.
Well, hi, Andy. This would have been a lot easier if you were still my backyard neighbor. I had to truck it all the way over here. So thank you for having me.
Yeah.
I was born and raised here. However, I went to school at All Saints. I was a private school kid.
Right.
But I was raised out in Oaksville. That's where I met Mitch. And, we always said when we grew up, we were going to move to the city. And here we are in the city of Manassas. And I love it. 4th of July was I always get the dates wrong. 4th of July was our 19th anniversary of moving into our house.
What's that house like on the 4th of July? Is it just like an armed camp?
It's like chaos. It's patriotic chaos. And I love it.
All the cars, all the people.
Yep. It's people that we've invited, people that we didn't invite. Everybody's there. Everybody's having a good time. It's great. And this 4th of July was really nice. Like, I was nervous because it was 4th of July, but it also coincided with First Friday. And I was a nervous wreck how that was going to go down. And kudos to Chief Keene and Manassas City Police Department. They got right in there, and I mean, their response to all the foot traffic and vehicular traffic once the roads were back open was incredible. They were awesome. I think I actually talked to Chief Keene, and I think he said 15,000 people, and there was, I think, one arrest and a couple of fights, and that's pretty damn good.
Yeah.
Yay.
Yeah, because people are drinking all day.
All day long. Friday, 4th of July started on Thursday.
Right.
And ended on Sunday night.
It's probably every restaurant's best day of the year.
Well, I know the restaurants liked it because last year it was 4th of July and then First Friday. Or I might have it back, reversed.
Right.
But I know the restaurants ran out of food.
Yeah.
They ran out of just because they couldn't restock in time.
Yeah. I'll tell you that, and the police handle just a little bit of everything. They had a tractor trailer that tried to go down West Street.
Oh my goodness, Nettie posted that.
Yeah. They had to back that thing up.
Well, bless their hearts. Those people were working on the 4th of July, just innocently trying to make a delivery at 7-Eleven. I wouldn't even walk to 7-Eleven on 4th of July.
On 4th of July.
There's so many people, there's so much going on. And so it said that their GPS had taken them through, and Nettie had posted that, and all I could think was those poor people had to work on 4th of July, delivering Slurpees or whatever the heck.
I mean, I guess someone's got to do it, right?
Someone's got to do it.
Yeah, it's something else. I mean, and it seems like First Fridays, they've gotten maybe a little less chaotic than we had, 3 months ago when the restaurants were closing early.
Last summer. Mm-hmm. So we're going into it with a different perspective this year, I think. I mean, I'm saying we. I'm hoping they. That's a problem. I continuously insert myself. But I really think they are. They're learning. And that's all you can do is learn from your mistakes. And, whatever... make different decisions, make changes, see what works, see what doesn't work. And we're in that phase, and I was super thrilled with what I saw last Friday.
I mean, the PD does a fantastic job. I mean, Public Works. I mean, I'm not short anybody, but the PD's got a tough job handling.
For sure, that many people. Yeah. Like on any other given day, there's like 100 of us.
Right.
And we all know each other.
Right. That's exactly right. And then 10,000 of our closest friends pile in,
and things can get. That's when stuff can go sideways. Yeah. But I don't know. They have a presence. They were doing their thing, and it worked on Friday.
That was fantastic. Mm-hmm. That was fantastic. Mm-hmm. So you actually had a podcast well before I tried this thing.
Yeah.
And what's your experience been like podcasting?
Well, I have not even ever referred to myself as a podcaster. I don't think I've earned that title yet. But it was a total just kind of, let's see what happens. I didn't even know my co-host, Nikki France, that well. We knew each other on Facebook.
Right.
Because I must say, we have a very strong Facebook community within our neighborhood, within our city. And I love that. It keeps communication open. And I think if you were to take our neighborhood and compare it to any other of these subdivisions, neighborhoods, nobody knows each other like we do.
No.
I mean, I could remember Piper as a little kid. We were going down the street and she could tell me who lived in what house and what the median income was. I mean, she knew everything. So, in a disclaimer, Andy, I want to tell everybody that your sister is one of my very, very, very best friends. So
I'm good friends with her too.
You know her too. So it's living in Manassas in this small town. It's just we're like nothing else. We're like nothing. We're like a TV show, and it's magical. And Nikki and I would talk about things and joke around. And there was a police case last spring of 2024, and she and I were kind of going back and forth on instant messenger, and I said something, and she goes, I don't know why the police just don't come right to us, and it was so funny, and I realized how much we laughed, and she said we should do a podcast, and I was like, oh, you're out of your mind, and Mitch was the one who said you all absolutely should, and so we got in there, and it took off, and it's been one of the funnest things I have been a part of.
Do you guys do a lot of planning?
We do none. We text each other and we kind of make a compilation of things that we want to talk about or things that have been interesting. A lot of it is driven by Facebook and social media and, what people are chattering about right now. And then we roll in with a piece of paper that kind of has them listed out. But everything we talk about, it's genuine in the moment, reactions, laughter, sadness. Right. And we do it live, which I love because people that's probably the hardest part is not getting distracted by comments because you'll have people asking questions or making jokes. And, when you just want to sit and just stare at that screen, you can't do that.
Well, that was the thing when I used to do those cooking videos,
which were great. Yeah.
Especially during COVID. I got up to, some of those were 750 people watching it. And there was some fair amount of especially DMs. And it's like, I'm over here.
Don't you see I'm doing something?
So Sarah would try and answer sometimes, or Jenny or Charlotte, one of the other guys that was there. But I get that question, like when I invite people on, they're like, well, can you send me a list of questions in advance? And the answer is no, because I don't have one.
And it's just boring. I don't want you to read a question. I answer it.
Right. And I try, and I don't. If you go back and listen to some of the other interviews with folks, especially the elected folks, there's not a list of secret questions that I have that I'm going to pop on somebody. If it's city budget time, well, I would expect we would spend a little time talking about the budget. Yeah. But it's not going to be something where I'm like, well, so are you happy that you just wasted $12 million? I mean, that's not
conversations. Yeah. That's really what my goal has become with Until They Kick Us Out, and just kind of like my own personal. I've somehow earned the title of squeakiest wheel in the city, I think. And I don't know how it's happened, but I'm enjoying facilitating conversations. Yeah. And that are deserved. We deserve them as citizens, and it's not like we demand answers. Right. Clearly there's something wrong. Let's address it. Yeah. How can we be better?
But that's what, that we don't really have, and I've said this any number of times, I'm not crapping on any of the online newspapers. Those guys work hard. They have a lot of distance to cover. But, the media environment is so different than when we had a local paper, or two local papers, actually. When I was in office, if they ran one column in the paper about the budget and something that was maybe a little controversial, packed. Council meeting packed. I could write those stupid blog posts I used to write. I could write 100 of them a week, and I would get 3 or 4 people that would come in and maybe offer a comment.
But you put it in the paper where everybody's checking, who died, who got married, what's coming up, and they see that little blip and it's on their radar.
Yeah.
And I think that's one thing, me personally, why I enjoy this role that I have fallen into. I didn't graduate college. I'm not a political science major. I am just a mom with a big mouth who has opinions, but I'm open-minded. I'm very much willing to, I might go spewing off about something, and it's happened many times where somebody has said, hey, you're wrong.
Right.
You have to look at it like this. Oh, wow, I didn't. Thanks. Thank you for correcting me.
And that's part of the idea here, is to get out information. Mm-hmm. And, I would hope that at some point more of the elected folks would come on, because, these ideas on Facebook sometimes that just sort of generate their own momentum, and it's like a rock rolling down a hill. Sometimes they're wrong. Mm-hmm. And it's, or sometimes it's more complicated than that.
Exactly. The firefighter issue. The very recent firefighter issue.
Right.
There's so much more to that.
Yes.
But there's a spotlight on it now.
Yeah.
And it's important.
It is important. But, yes. But and I think it's important for those elected guys to come on and say, well, look, I supported this and here's why. And, mm-hmm. Maybe a lot of this didn't make it onto, the various online newspapers. Because the online newspapers are all we have left. The Washington Post just closed their metro section. So it's a lot different landscape. I say this a lot. Back when I was in office, we had two.
You and Ian.
Yeah. We had 2 local papers, and the Washington Post had a 4-person full-time bureau in Manassas, in Old Town. And those people never arrested. If a long council meeting at the end of it, they were standing outside the door waiting. Well, why did you do this? Or why did you do that? And I don't feel like that.
That doesn't exist. Because you only have a handful of people.
Right.
And they're trying to be all over reporting this, reporting that, and, deciding what stories are going to make the Facebook posts.
Yeah. They're doing their damnedest.
They really are.
Yeah. But again, it's, like I said, so you had a fully staffed newsroom, Potomac News, Journal Messenger, 4-person bureau at the WAPO. It's just completely poof, gone away. And so it's left. Sometimes people draw their own conclusions. But
if you're only tuned into one channel, that's all you're going to know.
Yeah. Well, we have a place in Colonial Beach. There's nothing there. Nothing. Of course, politics at Colonial Beach are like Manassas politics 25 years ago. Yeah. It's very much old school.
The good old days.
Yeah. And, if you're what do they call us? If you're a come here and you want to run for office, you got to knock on a lot of doors. And, it reminds me of Manassas in 2000. Oh. Maybe a little bit before that even.
Yeah.
But, this in Manassas, the government, it's grown a fair amount. I don't know what the latest population numbers are.
I couldn't tell you. I truly have no idea.
It's got to be 50,000 people at least.
It's got to be. We're only continuing to grow.
Yeah.
They're getting ready to put in, I don't know how many units in Georgetown South.
A lot.
It's very strange now driving down Main Street, and then you can look over and see the police station kind of looking like Gotham City. and then all these, every time you drive down Grand Avenue or Main Street, every day there's a new row of townhouses. Yeah. Like they build them while we're sleeping, I think. I don't know. They just appear.
Doug Keene's going to kill me, but this is not a mystery to Doug. I hate that location.
Do you hate the roundabout? Do you hate the road? Do you hate the construction? What do you hate about it?
So I hate that location for the police headquarters. Did we need a new headquarters? Yeah,
absolutely.
We needed one. But this goes back to probably 2008 when we first had discussions about new police headquarters, and I don't think it's right in the middle of a heavily residential area, and I don't love it. The roundabout, I don't know. I'm a roundabout convert. I feel like the roundabout is, Mark Wolf covered this when I interviewed him. I still feel like it's too tight. It's too small, and
because they couldn't make it any bigger. Like
well,
they physically
without
didn't
buying
have
a
the
couple
space.
houses.
Yeah.
But my main beef with that Grant Avenue project, it was a heck of a lot of money, and I think if they were going to do it, they should have done it the same way the other part of Grand Avenue is done. On the other part of
wider
Grand
lanes.
Avenue, it's wider, and if there's an emergency vehicle, they can probably get past you.
Well, we have that big, huge bike path.
Yeah, well, I mean, but if you're in your, 4-door sedan with 2 kids, are you going to climb a full-size curb? I mean.
No, I just speed up.
Yeah,
I just gun it and try to get the hell out of the way.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but I mean, my truck, but I'll run over one of those little tiny trees they put up, and God hope there's not some kids or something like that, because you're just gonna have to sit.
Yeah.
But I mean, it is what it is. We'll sort
and chances are for us that fire engine's coming from 21 because 1 is down.
Yeah. So do you want to talk about, what about your project on West Street? That old little church.
Yes. So that is Primitive Baptist Church, built, there's some discrepancies in dates, but roughly late 1800s, 1898. That church, I've been here, so back, Mitch and I just celebrated our 19th anniversary of moving into our house on Battle Street on July 4th. We were crazy enough to move in July 4th, 19 years ago. And that cute little church has sat behind me all these years, just lonely and sad. And I just always would look at it. And when it was on the market, I can remember taking pictures thinking, I'd love to get my hands on it. And then I did. 10 months later, bought it. And right now, it is being converted into a residence because that is what it is zoned for, R1.
Right.
So all the people that were trying to get me in trouble for painting it black, quote unquote black, because if you really look at it, it's kind of like a deep navy. But to all of those people that were trying to get me in trouble, you failed.
That church, it's crazy. Did you ever meet the artist guy that lived there?
So I'm going to say his name because if anybody has any connection to him, I would very much like to be put in contact. His name is Stephen Craighead. And I know that because when we closed on the church and I got in there was about 6 years worth of mail in a big pile in the corner because he sold, or not necessarily he. It was owned by Kettle Run Baptist Church.
Yep.
They sold in 2021 to a Adventista Iglesia LLC, who then sold it to us. And that church, Adventista Iglesia, that came in after Mr. Craighead, the artist, they came in, they tore out the bathroom, screwed up the floor. I mean, really did a job on the place. So, because when the artist, Mr. Craighead, lived there was a bathroom and like a kitchenette of sorts, I guess. Yeah. You can't really tell what was there. You can just see like where the plugs and where like venting and ventilation pipes, things like that. Because they just came in and cut them all off. Just cut. So, we got a hold of it. It's zoned R1 and it's going to be a house. When Mr. Craighead lived there, I mean, he was very much to himself.
Oh, 100%.
We would chit chat very briefly when he would be walking his
dogs,
poodles. Yep. He had like these 2 older poodles.
Same.
And he would go out of the church and walk down West Street, cut across Trinity Episcopal parking lot, come in front of our house, and then Miss Carper's house was owned by the city then, so
Right.
there was no fence, there was no nothing,
Right.
and then he'd go right into the back door of the church, and that was it. But I Googled him because I was trying to get a hold of him.
He was kind of a serious artist.
Holy crap. Have you seen his art? It's
I have.
beautiful.
I have. Rich
who
actually
knew?
found it first.
Wow.
Well, I wouldn't have, because like he was, I would say he was, I mean, I don't know him outside of just being next to him for 10 years, but he was very reclusive.
Very reclusive.
He didn't come out of that building 1 minute longer than he had to.
The windows never came.
He covered
were
them.
Open. Yeah, and they just, it never changed. It was like that pretty much until we bought it. I couldn't wait. That was the first thing I did. As soon as we closed, I ran in there and ripped all those, dilapidated shades and blinds, and like that roller shade was like crunchy.
Yeah. Well, his wife lived with him there for a little while, and then
I never saw another person.
she wasn't there very long, because according to her, they had a place in Nokesville, maybe, and
He has a website and an email address, and I sent an email. I never received anything. I mean, I hope he's well.
Well, I know his wife passed away some years ago, and then I don't know how much longer after that it was. He just kind of disappeared, and then 2 kids moved in there, and they were running a lawn maintenance company.
Oh my gosh! I didn't even know that.
Out of that church, they had like a cot in there. They were sleeping in there.
Oh, God.
They had lawnmowers and stuff, small lawnmowers, inside of there.
Oh my goodness!
I don't know. I talked to one of those kids one day, and he was like, "Well, we're just getting going, and this seemed cheap." And
Oh wow! No, I didn't even. Well, see, and that wasn't even legit because it was zoned residential. So
yeah. Well, and he there's a lot of back and forth, and then, but I don't know whatever happened to them either. But
well, if anybody knows where Mr. Stephen Craighead, the artist, is, I'd love to be in touch, and I'd love to show him what is going on in his former residence.
Right. And then the tree I was joking with you about, feel free to cut down.
It's coming down. It will be coming down, yeah.
But it had gotten so big, it was way over our building, and I couldn't find anybody to get it a hold of. Finally, I had, who was it, Doug Waldron. Send them a letter to their registered address, and they called me, and I said, "Hey, look, you need to do something with this tree." And they're like, "It's hanging over your house, you can go ahead and trim it." I said, no, it's your tree.
Yeah.
You trim it.
Yeah.
And to their credit, they sent some dude out there, and he sawed off a bunch of limbs, and I was happy. But
well, it is in the plan. It's coming down, Andy.
I'm not in a rush.
Enough with the tree. No, I'm kidding.
And then you bought the house on the other side of us too, that old gray church house.
The old house that belonged to Trinity Episcopal. Now, to clarify, I did not buy that. My parents bought that. Well, they made a deal with Mitch because Mitch needs a garage for the other woman in our relationship.
Right.
Her name is Shirley, and she's a 69 Chevy C10.
Yep.
And he loves her, and I'm okay with it. But it was, that we've been here 19 years, and that house, while we have been around, has never been anything. There was attempts to make it like Bible study at one point, and then Boxes to Basics came in for a short period of time.
She's actually blown up.
She has blown up.
Yeah.
They couldn't hold her in there for more than 6 months.
No, we just did a bunch of IT work for them, getting all their inventory
awesome.
systems and stuff set up the way so they can handle it all. Yeah, the church, this is all pre-COVID. The church used it for teenage Sunday school for a couple of years, but it's never been.
It flaked out. It was, And the building it wasn't in the poorest shape, but it wasn't the greatest.
It wasn't not move-in ready.
Yeah, no. So it went on the market in October, I think, and I just couldn't stop thinking about it. I was like, that would be so cool. We could get mom and dad here, because they don't live far from me at all. They live right next to you.
Next to me.
Down the street. But my dad was, he was a paraplegic in a wheelchair, and I'm an only child. And you probably see my car. I'm over there all the time.
Yeah.
And we were like, oh my gosh, you could move in the backyard. And Mitch was like, I could get the garage. And we were like, Mitch could get the garage. So it kind of came to this family decision that mom and dad would buy the house and Mitch would renovate it and make it, because Mitch is super ultra talented.
Mitch is, he knows what he's doing.
I mean, he's incredible.
I mean, to see him, you would be like, that's Norm Abrams. He's a handyman.
With his hat on backwards and his lawnmower.
I mean, when you guys were not adding on, but redoing like a lot of the trim work in your current house, I mean, he'd be out there in the middle of the day. I hear the saws going and all that stuff. He
loves it.
It's fun.
And he's so good at it. But that was the deal that we kind of came to. Mom and dad would buy the house. Mitch would renovate it. They would move in. Everybody would be happy. It'd be a perfect world. And mom and dad settled on the house, and dad died a week later.
Yeah. I was sorry to hear
that. So thank you. But he lived a long, amazing life.
Well, I mean, you guys renovated that house for them.
We renovated that house. We bought it from Katie Dorr. And where mom and dad did, and Mitch was in charge of that and renovated it. And now my aunts, who live out in Noakesville, who are older, they're selling their 2.5 acre farm, and they're going to move into mom's house. So that way I can kind of help out with them.
Because you guys did amazing work. I mean, the lady, I don't remember her name. Sarah probably remembers.
I can't remember her name either. Mrs.
Yeah.
Ms.
I mean, it was a brick box.
It was a brick box with really weird windows.
With really tiny, weird windows.
Yeah.
One time, Sarah and I lived in that house on Beauregard for 30 years or whatever. And not too long after we moved in, her car got stolen.
Oh, gosh.
And, the PD was there, and I walked over, and I was like, hey, what's going on? And I could hear her, in her interview with the PD. And they were like, so, were the keys in the car? And she said, of course.
Oh, bless her.
And they said, well, why were your keys in the car? And she said, my husband always told me to leave the keys in the car. And if the car caught on fire, I should just leave the house, get in the car, and drive off.
Aww. I mean, I can see it.
I get it. I get it. I get it.
You're not exactly wrong.
Well, right. You do want to get the hell out of there.
Oh, yeah, that was definitely an eyesore. Wow.
It wasn't beautiful.
It was not beautiful, and Mitch came in and he had a vision, and they ripped all those ugly windows out and put in real,
Did you guys hire an architect for that?
We did, and he's
since
passed. Yes.
Because you had to make a lot of changes to...
We hired Joe De Silva of S2R, Sketch to Reality Architecture, and he has since passed away. He was a young guy, and he was awesome. And he also did the addition on our house.
Oh, is that right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that guy did good work.
He did very, very good work.
Yeah. Because, that house, if I would show, I don't know if I have one, but if I would show people a picture of the original house,
they wouldn't believe it.
They would not believe it. It's
dormer
amazing.
windows now that have the stupid sticker on them. It drives me nuts. But you can't get to it because it's it's like sealed off.
Right. Yeah, it's crazy. It's a thing, but it's so good. It's such a great addition to the neighborhood.
And we're trying to do that with I called the church the Charles on West. I've named it after my father. And then my mom's new house. We're just it's no secret. I like to do my hair. I like to put on makeup. I like things to be pretty. Yeah. And there's nothing where some people are different. Some people like really bushy yards and, don't want to paint things.
That thing's in the historic district, right?
It is.
Has the city given you much hassle?
They have not, because I've complied by every rule.
Right.
It's zoned R1 residential, so it's to be looked at as a house.
Right.
And so I painted it. They have no say in paint color within the historic district for a residence.
Right.
Commercial is a different story. So I painted it, and then I'm going to be adding, I already have them. I have beautiful copper lanterns.
Oh, for those pillars you built?
No, well, those will be he has some for the pillars for Mom's driveway, but I have copper lanterns for the church.
Oh, cool.
Gas copper lanterns.
Oh, wow. Make Rich Meyer happy.
He's paid. He's paid on his promise. I have a $100 bill folded up for our opening night baptismal. But yeah, I'm going to have gas lanterns, and then Mitch is actually having a new door fabricated because the door that's on there is original, but it's just beyond repair. It's too cracked, and you can't just replace the door, so we have to have the whole frame.
Sure.
Not the transom, but the frame.
Right.
And then, but I'm not going to paint that black. I would like to stain it and have some wood element.
Yeah.
So they'll have the wood, the copper, the gas, the brick. Like
that'll be neat.
Yeah, and that's what we're trying to do. Just beautify things.
Yeah. That's a lot of work. I mean, it was in bad shape when I was on the vestry at Trinity. Because Trinity at one point kicked around the idea of like making it a temporary shelter. Mm-hmm. Not like a huge functioning kind of thing, but just a couple of rooms.
In need.
And I was like, guys, this thing ain't passing any kind of inspections. There's no way.
No.
And that was 20-some years ago.
Yeah, it was pretty bad, but I will say this. The floors are in beautiful shape.
Really?
Oh my gosh.
Well, they have crap carpets over them the whole time.
They had, not only did they have carpet, but they had, there was like a whole layer of the Washington Post from 1953 or something, which I wanted so desperately to save, but it was just in such bad shape. If you touched it, it would fall apart. Yeah. So we would get down on the floor and crawl around on these newspapers to look at the price of meat, or the price of groceries was like insane, or the cost of, you could get like a whole living room suite for I don't know, it was more expensive than I thought. It was like $130 or something from it wasn't the Hub, but it was like pre the Hub.
Oh my God. In the little brick office I have next door, we found in the walls headlines from like when Kennedy was assassinated.
We found that in Mom's house on Beauregard. Yeah. We found newspapers.
And then the one from Nixon. Mm-hmm. And same. I mean, you couldn't get them out without them just kind of disintegrating.
Yeah,
I took some pictures of them.
So delicate, but it's a shame. Yeah, I can remember I did take the papers because we found JFK papers in Mom's attic on Beauregard, and I remember taking them up to City Tavern to the brothers.
Oh, is that right?
And I was like, if you want to put that, because they had an article in the paper about the opening of, or something with the Old Town Motor Court or whatever it was back in the 50s. Right. And I was like, oh, you should take this.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
And, so much has changed, just even in, I don't know what, the last 15 years, it seems like, this is just not two people saying, you kids stay off my lawn. But it by any measure, any subjective measure, a lot has changed in the city. And
in the world.
Well, in the world, but, the city has been, I would say, unusually aggressive. And how now I'm not saying that's good, bad, and different. I think that you can fairly characterize it as, an aggressive change in, the way the city looks and operates in the last 15, 20 years.
100%.
Yeah. I mean, they've been far more aggressive about buying property. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't know we were real estate tycoons.
Yeah. I mean, I think everyone would agree on the Old Town Inn property. We're
all like mixed. We all are happy, but we're also like, damn, that was a lot of money.
It was a lot of money. We
with no plan, and it's still sitting empty.
Well, and we paid to pave it.
And we paid.
And I'll tell you this. They are going to have a hell of a time tearing up that parking lot. People are going to raise hell about, we're reducing parking in Old Town, even though the city has plans to spend another $10 million building another parking garage. For whatever reason, people... You
can't make everybody happy.
No, and people in the suburbs
They were complaining about the lack of parking on 4th of July. Well, what do we do? We can't... Yeah. And the truth is, there is parking. Yeah. You're just going to have to walk a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean,
people
there's
don't like
parking, and people don't want to drive around and find those side streets.
people
They want the
outside of
convenience.
people outside of the cities hate parking garages. It's was the parking garage open for the 4th of July? It wasn't, was it?
That's a good question.
I think they usually close it.
For a while, they were doing an event on the top floor of it, but I truly have no idea.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't think it's necessary to close the parking garage. They have people camped out all around it, so there would be no reason.
I mean, I don't know. It might have changed, but I think traditionally they've closed it. They've been worried about traffic. All the streets are closed. And so, inevitably, you're going to have somebody that comes up and is like, I have an emergency. I have to get my car out of here right now. And, that just becomes a thing, right?
Yeah. Well, their response to traffic on 4th of July once they reopened the streets was great. And I don't think that it would make no sense to me to not have that parking garage open. That's interesting. I'm going to look into that.
Yeah, I don't know. That's just the way, that's why.
I see what you're saying, but at the same time, people do it all the time. And we have, we have signs up that say this street's going to be closed. I mean, they have them well up in time to give people notice. And I see them out there, going through the effort to try and contact the owner.
Yeah, they do.
They do that, and then they'll have you towed. But yeah, that would be silly. And then I can see where people were bitching if there was no place to park, if the parking garage was closed.
Yeah, I think it's, I don't know. But I mean, you can see the fireworks from pretty far away, I feel like.
You can see them from, my mom can go out on Grand Avenue and see most of the show.
Yeah. I mean, I don't, like First Fridays or whatnot, I'm just past that point, right? So I'll go down there, I'll go to Doug's, I'll look at whatever kind of draft beer they've got, or Sinistro. I'll pick one. I'll have a couple of beers, and then I am out. It's too many people.
Well, that's the luxury of living in where I live, because I am not a commitment person, period. If you have a party, I'm coming, and everybody knows this about me, but this is just how I maintain sanity. Is, you're going to get me for like a third of the party. I can't stay the whole time. It's going to overwhelm. And so same thing with First Friday. It applies to that. I'll literally say to Mitch, I'm going to go walk around town. I'm going to go make the rounds.
Right.
And then if I find people, I'll hang out for a little bit, but then I can go home once it gets a little too because I don't drink.
Right.
So it's, I don't want, if you're going to hang on me, I need an escape. And I know a lot of drinking hanger-oners.
Well, I enjoy it. I think it's a great thing the city does. I do kind of miss some of the events that HMI used to do.
Do you remember, because it might have been a sweet spot for my kids, but we used to have Easter egg hunts on the museum lawn.
Yeah.
Halloween, not egg hunts, I don't know. They would just throw candy on the lawn and we'd say, have at it, kids. That's 2005 compared to 2025. Bugs and all, just have at it. And we don't have those charming small town events anymore. But I'm telling you, you down with the Thai festival, we got you.
Yeah, 100%.
We got you. Yeah. Any weekend in the summer. Yeah,
they used to. I mean, they had like the jazz festival, and they have the Viking festival. That was separate.
Don't even bring that up. That's a sore subject for me. I love that. My friend Erna is the visionary behind putting all that together, and that was such a fun.
It was fun.
It was so different than anything else we had, and it gave such exposure to things that, I didn't even know that Vikings have a specific dog. They brought a dog, this breed that is only, it's like a Viking breed. So just really cool shit like that.
Yeah.
We don't,
and they had a wine. They had a jazz festival and a wine and beer festival on the museum lawn, and one or two. I mean, they still have the Railway Festival, but it seems like they've redirected a ton of their energy into that First Friday stuff. And it's been successful,
If you're looking for a taste of the good old days, the Bee Festival.
Yeah.
Have you been to that?
I went, but not last year, maybe a year before. Not this year.
This year was the first year I got out of the car, went walking through, and it's a lot for me to get in the car and drive a mile and then find parking.
Right.
But all the like chaos seemed to be over on Portner. I drove around, parked at Apple Federal Credit Union, and then walked right in.
Across the street.
Besides the fact it was 100 degrees. It was so nice. There must have been 100 vendors there of all different, I get annoyed at a lot of these events where it's like, do you need a new roof? Do you need a new air conditioning? Like,
that gets old.
Bitch, I'm here for pie.
Right.
Get out of my face.
Right.
So it's walking in there and seeing that and having all these amazing vendors and representatives of different local clubs, and they had a drum circle and a live band, and John Hart was there doing his art, and it felt
I love John.
small town. It was beautiful. Hats off to Teresa, who did your interview, and George.
She told
George,
me
who had a heart attack like 5 days before that, is up there.
Yeah.
And I was videoing just simply to keep an eye on him because Teresa wasn't around, and I was like, he's doing a presentation on the bees that was so tremendously entertaining and informative.
She told me they had 10,000 people there last
I
year.
believe it.
That's incredible.
I 100% believe it. It was such a nice festival. It was like something you see off of TV, like where you're talking to your neighbor, and then here comes the pony being led with like little Timmy, and everybody's running around with cotton candy. It was wonderful, and it was nice because it was hotter than Hades, but like you're not on the blacktop.
Right.
You're on it makes
tolerable.
a tremendous difference. You're not on the blacktop. And even though it was still hot, and there was plenty of shade around, and they had like a cooling tent. It was great. It was just so well done.
Yeah, I didn't know that George had been ill at any level. And I invited him on the podcast because I thought, well, look, at least part of the idea here is to share information, right? And let's get the elected guys on here and let them talk. Mm-hmm. And not a lot of them have accepted my invitation, but I haven't invited everybody yet. But I thought, well, let's bring on the Democrat, the local chair, and let's bring on the GOP local chair. And I emailed the Democrats and I emailed George, the Republicans, and the Democrats took a little bit to get back to me, and they said, yeah, we'll do it, but we're co-chairs. So, which I told them this, I'm not talking about school. That's maybe the most Democrat thing ever. We have a co-chair, and I'm having fun with you guys. But George never responded, and I was like, oh, well,
which is not like him.
No, well, A, it's not like him, and B, I'm like, well, maybe they're having a longer discussion. And then after 3 or 4 days, I got something, basically talked to my wife, and she responded, and she scheduled and came in, and almost first thing out of the chute, she was telling me the story of how like she was leaving the house to go vote on the budget, and she got a lot of grief, by the way, because she was not at the council meeting where the budget vote took place. I mean, her husband had a heart attack when she was walking out of the house.
Yeah.
So
if that doesn't qualify as a reasonable excuse, I really don't know what does.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's interesting because I'm going to bring it up. That's why I had to walk in with hemorrhoid cream, because prior to this, I was over at the GOP, which George is our leader, and he's very much a reason why I have become more involved, because this has never been my jam. I really don't fully understand it. I just know, okay, my beliefs align with yours, and and these are all very welcoming, wonderful, beautiful people. Like I'm enjoying being a part of it, and I'm going to be the new membership chair.
Oh, congratulations.
Which is right up my alley. I was like, I don't want to work if I can just talk to people. And so they were like, have we got a position for you? And so recently, the GOP headquarters, we put together a team of 20 plus people.
Which is right across the street from City Hall.
Right across the street from City Hall. It's at the corner of East Street and Center Street. I think that's East Street, isn't it?
I think so.
Classic.
Yeah.
So, we had this text string, which I hate text strings. Oh my gosh, I got sucked into this, but I'm not going to be rude because I'm the newest person to be added. So, and it's like 20 plus people, and they're all coordinating this effort to really spruce up the place for 4th of July.
Right.
And they really worked their butts off. It was hot. You had older people, younger people, a whole mix. Everybody's, and it was fun. People are like high-fiving, and I wasn't there. I'm assuming it was like that.
Right. Seems like it was.
I was preparing for my 4th of July, extravaganza at my home. But I'm watching these texts, and they're like, we need this, and they're like, we're on it. And so it was really cool. And then 4th of July, it's great. It looks beautiful. Everybody's taking pictures. We have this gorgeous flag that Mitch and I have lent to the office to hang on the side of the building on E Street. And I can't tell you how many people I've seen taking their pictures there.
Wow.
And I just love that.
Yeah.
You don't have to be Republican. You don't have to be a Democrat. Just we love our country, and this is a symbol of that.
Right.
And so to wake up on July 5th, we had our office. The woman that comes in and kind of runs things, Edie, who's so sweet and so kind, she rolls up and sees this Fash spray painted on the window. It's either Fash, might be Fast, I don't know. Yeah. But they also spray painted the door and the handle and the lock on the door. And it was just, it's nobody wants to see that. Nobody wants to see their property. I'm not saying it's my property, but it's property that we all put effort into. We've all put money into. It's not even owned by us. It's donated for usage by a wonderful community member and friend. And so it's just disgusting to see people act like that. And then it's been posted on Facebook and shared. And then WTTG Fox 5 came, and I spoke with the wonderful...
Oh, they actually came in person?
Literally, that's where I was... Right before I came here, and so I got bit by bugs. So I'm treating it with my hemorrhoid cream because I've never actually had a hemorrhoid. So to me, this is just bug bite cream. But I roll with it a lot. So they had just been there. I did an interview with them, and I was shocked because I had opened up Facebook. And there was a known Democrat. And in my post, I wasn't like Democrat this, Democrat that. I was just like some dipshit out there with a white spray paint can. Right. I don't know who you are, but I know you're a dipshit. And I know you got a white spray paint can. And this woman posted on Facebook that enough is enough. We need to pull back our language of violence. This was just spray paint. A senator was shot. Well, you know what?
The senator was shot. Oh, in Minnesota?
In Minnesota. That's what she was referring to. That should be the news.
That's on not exactly the same level at all.
That is not. And it's ridiculous. And it's just my heart breaks. I couldn't even watch the news this morning because I just am devastated at the loss that is happening in Texas. I mean, it's unbelievable.
That's a lot of kids.
But it doesn't change the fact that I'm Simone Reddington, and I'm here in Manassas, and I'm part of a team that loves this building, and we come in it together for a purpose, and somebody disrespected it.
Yeah.
And she wrote this whole long post about let it go, and our mayor of our town actually commented and said, "Thank you, Diane." You have other leaders in this town commenting. It's about time someone said something. No, I'm sorry that my violence wasn't good enough for you. I'm sorry that my crime doesn't qualify.
Right.
It's disgusting.
Any sort of political stuff like that, it's got no place in the process, man. It just doesn't. I mean, even down to signs.
Signs.
Yeah, it's not, you're not changing anybody's mind. Okay. If you go steal, hair over for council signs, that's not going to mean, that sign was here last week.
Nobody hears you. Nobody knows.
No.
And that's what I made a Facebook post, and I was like, and that's when I said the dipshit with the white spray paint. I was like, you think you made some big impact. and now, I mean, it has made it to the news, so I'm kind of, in your face. But I mean, it's only 55 people, and I don't think a lot of people realize how small our registered Republican Party is within Manassas. It's 55 individuals.
Yeah, it's never been a billion.
You're not making a big splash. No. Donald Trump isn't going to come down here and be like,
no.
What's going on? No. He's going to be like, where's Manassas? Right. If anybody even brings it up to him.
Right.
So yeah, it's just disgusting behavior, but to see the highest leader of my town, the highest city official praise that statement, I'd rather her just ignore it. I'd just rather not say anything at all.
It's, I have not really kept up a ton with politics, but to me, it seems like a pitch in the dirt. Why would you swing at it?
Exactly.
I just don't understand that. And to compare it to what happened in Minnesota.
Are you kidding me?
You had that wacko hunting down elected people. And you don't want stuff like that to happen. You don't want to encourage it. It always ends poorly.
Yeah.
Always, no matter what party you're a member.
So no, that this is, and I said at the end of my post, you think you're doing something, but haha, joke's on you. We're back to normal. But you're a criminal. That is a crime.
Yeah.
Whether it'll go anywhere in this area, no. But get her on there, Andy. Amy Ashworth. I would like to hear an interview very much.
I'm open to anybody. I've got a couple of. No, I've got one. I can't remember his name. I can't believe this. He's running for office as a Republican.
Dion.
No, the other guy. Nate.
Mm-hmm.
I've known Nate for 15 years, and maybe 15. And he texted me after the one I did with Steve Thomas and said, the Thomas interview will be up this week. But he was like, let me know. I'll come on.
Well, let me tell you a funny story because Nate was sitting next to me. You happened to text me at my very first, board meeting, GOP board meeting, in which we just met at Jukebox Diner, and it's fun. Right. See, I go to meetings if anybody promises dinner. Like, you can have dinner for the GOP open meeting tomorrow, or Wednesday night is at Old Town Sports Pub.
Right.
They have some killer Southwest egg rolls. I look forward once a month to going there and getting my Southwest egg rolls and my Diet Coke and listening to all of the people talk.
Right.
So now they've brought me in by the promise of Jukebox Diner. And I was sitting there and your name came up because George was sitting across from me and I was talking about the heart attack. He says, well, Teresa talked about Andy's podcast.
Yeah.
And I said, oh, Andy. And I went to open your text. I said, oh my God, he just texted me. He asked if I would be on his podcast. And George goes, well, you should do it. And I was laughing so hard because it was such a coincidence and Nate was sitting next to me and I accidentally sent you a thumbs up.
Oh.
And I was like, well, I am, because I just accidentally. And he turned to me, he was like, that's such a mom thing to do.
It is.
I love Nate. He works so hard.
He does.
He manages the Pizza Hut here in town. He's tremendously intelligent. He's so well spoken. But my man works his butt off. He was working till 2:00 in the morning on 4th of July.
I mean
he hasn't even talked to anybody about getting signed yet. He's a hard worker.
I ran into him. It had been a minute since I saw him. I mean, I texted with him that day, but then I ran into him at the shop, gym. Because I go there in the AM.
Yeah, and Mitch has informed me about how strong you are.
Mitch goes. I used to go about the same time that Mitch went, but now I'm at 5:30 AM.
Mm-hmm.
Because I just can't. The business is really busy, and I can't just bail out of here for an hour during the day. But I have to get it in. So, yeah, that's the last time I ran into him. And then I have not invited I invited him via the podcast, but I intend to reach out to all of the candidates for those offices. What's his name? Dion
Schamberger is running for Commissioner of the Revenue, and Nate Fritzen, is running for Treasurer.
Yeah, and I intend to invite.
Yes, and I very much hope that they come on because we need a change. We need a change. I think a lot of people are very unaware that the Commissioner of Revenue is an elected position, but they're also paid about $130,000
Oh, they make
a year.
a hell of a lot of money.
they make a lot of money. So
Yeah.
people, you're not just electing somebody and walking away. Your tax money is paying for these. I don't know how much the treasurer makes, but
It's probably
we need new blood.
up there.
Period.
Yep. I mean, I intend to interview. I intend to invite Tim and Pat onto the podcast. I have no idea whether they'll show up.
Yeah, I'd be extremely interested in what they have to say.
I mean, that becomes kind of a political calculus. Do I have anything to gain by going on, or is it just a bad idea? I don't know. I don't know how much. I mean, I've known Tim since 1981, something like that. So I've known Tim for a minute, but I don't know.
I've met him, and he's been very nice. We've had very short, nice, cordial conversations. But that doesn't change the fact that I don't want him to be commissioner of the court. I mean, that's not my decision maker.
Right.
Whether you're a nice person, that's all well and good. Do a good job.
Yeah.
Do what we need you to do. And we've found ourselves gobbling up property without a plan, without, I just, you are the commissioner of the revenue. Where's the revenue? Where's the revenue?
Well, and the property is strange. I've been in that position before where the city is weighing buying a piece of property, and it's sometimes when you argue with yourself. It's like, I'm taking the long view for when the city bought the DMV. That was not hugely controversial, but there was a block. The Tea Party guys didn't love the idea, and I knew they wouldn't. Dan and his guys in the Tea Party, the Manassas Tea Party. I mean, they gave me a lot of grief, but then I give them a lot of credit, because when I said, "All right, what do you want to cut? I'll sit down. Come to my house. I'll give you the entire city budget, and it'll be a line item printout, and you tell me what you want to cut." And they showed up.
Yeah. And
we were there for 3 hours. And Dan hates when I tell this story, but I inadvertently put Dan on the couch, and he was in the sun for 3 hours. But, I mean, they gave it to a college try. We still disagreed. But, we met and tried to sort it out. So I understand the argument, like, well, this piece of property just popped up, and, we kind of want to control what happens here. But it just seems...
I get it, but they should have immediately brought in somebody who knew how to navigate this and plan things out. It's one thing to have a comprehensive plan that we're sitting on for 20 years, and we kind of are making moves and decisions based on that. It's another thing when something like that pops up. And it was a good price, but now we're just sitting on it, and we have these stupid signs. I want to know what developer is just going to roll by in his Mercedes, and who that we want, who's going to come in there, and we're not going to find anybody with a sign.
Well, I think it's just the volume, right? Almost everyone supported the hotel project in the middle of Manassas. There's arguments. We paid too much. We didn't. We had to buy the guy's business. So, okay. But then, then it was the Marsteller School, and then it was, the shopping center. And it was just one. It's one
after the other. And what really set my ass on fire was seeing an article in the newspaper, and nothing ever came of it. But just the thought of it, where the school board was asking for $11 million. I saw this on the Inside Nova printout, a printed paper, and in City Hall, ironically, I was there at zoning, and it said they were asking for like $11 million to purchase the Apple Federal Credit Union.
I think they did buy it, didn't they?
Did they? I don't know. We have an office there. I know we use up 1 or 2 floors.
I think they're going to use. Now, I'm a little foggy on the details, but I think they're going to keep their headquarters there, and maybe they're going to try and use some of the building for an alternative school or something.
School resources and whatnot.
They're going to run a school out of there, I think.
And I just think that's ridiculous. I mean, it's right on the edge of town. What you're asking, if you have teachers or employees, or, why wouldn't they put that money into the old Manassas City Police Department? Tear that building down and build a $12 million building. Yeah. I'd be willing to hand over more money. Here's $20 million. Here's $20 million of my fake dollars. But as a citizen, I can see that because it's next to Osborne. It's only a couple blocks away from Metz. It's right next to Baldwin. Why not take advantage of property that we already own that's being used as storage?
It's
Like,
I don't.
Why, and yet they'll scoop up a piece of property and they're so quick to say, let's have a community meeting and see what you say. They're not listening to you. They're not listening to me. They already know that they don't know what they're doing with it. They're just...
Well, I thought when they had all of the news releases about the Old Town Inn before the last election, we've got preliminary...
please.
I didn't feel like that was being completely honest with the
No,
public.
that was a total...
I really did.
Look at me.
Yeah.
We're the heroes. And it was a lie. It was just all...
I mean, I don't know what the fact of the matter was, but it's been nearly a year and we're not having public meetings
or anything about it.
Yeah, I didn't love that. But it does need to go, but it seems like it's going to be a long journey to get there. And
I would love, all right, then turn it into, but I don't want to put any more money into it.
Right.
But it's like, when it all happened, did you solo? Sorry, I just noticed that. Did you solo?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah.
I only know that from, Daddy was a certified flight instructor, and so when somebody would solo, we'd cut their t-shirt off and have them paint. So
right.
I just noticed in Andy's office that he uses a cut-off t-shirt, and I was like, what? He's not wearing a cut-off t-shirt. He has a framed cut-off t-shirt from January 6th, 2013.
Yeah.
And it was, who was your flight instructor? Kelly Campbell. I don't know who that is. First solo.
He was a younger flight instructor with a client of ours that had a Cessna airplane that they let me fly for nothing.
Wow.
And so I soloed.
Even 2013, that's post 9/11. Things were wild and crazy. Things were pre 9/11. The air was wild and crazy, and it was.
Well, great. I never got my pilot's license. I came within an inch. And then it became apparent to me that being in elected office and trying to keep my skills current, it's not happening.
Yeah.
There wasn't enough time.
No.
But even then, you take off from Manassas, before you did that, you had to file a flight plan to Gainesville. And because of the ADIZ, the Air Defense Identification Zone, because of 9/11. And it shocked me to find out that, if you're in Culpeper, you can just jump in your bird and take off and go.
I lived on an airstrip.
That's
when we lived out in Oaksville solely for that purpose. Daddy had a Piper Cub, and our neighbor Teal Queen had, I don't know what he had. I know they jointly owned a Satabria for a while because they did banner towing, and we had a hangar in our backyard. We had 7 acres, and we had a hangar, and Dad would go back there and turn his airplane on, taxi out to the runway, and take off.
I had no idea that you could do that because I was flying out of Manassas, and it's inside the zone. You had to file a flight plan, or they were going to come and find you. So, I had this client that they just had this plane sitting around, and they were like,
how about it?
Yeah, if you want to use it, just use it. And they would also let me fly if they had it, because in case they needed to go pick things up in New Jersey, they had a maintenance hangar up there for parts and stuff, and you fly up there and get parts. And and I fly around to other places if they needed things done, and it was cool. They'd call me up, they're like, hey, Kelly's flying to Hampton, you want to go?
Yeah.
Sure, yeah, man.
Very neat.
Well,
that's cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah, no, it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. It's kind of a technical thing, and I'm a nerd, so I liked it.
Yeah.
All of the flight planning, all that stuff, I loved it.
Dad had a tail dragger, and he would fly with. He just loved to bum around and fly, and there was an aerobatics box, so they could practice aerobatics out at Whiskey 66 in Warrenton. And I ran the fuel pumps and directed people on the runway. I was in 8th grade.
Oh wow!
My very first job. But that's very nostalgic for me.
Yeah, airlines. I mean, small, regional or local airports. it's still kind of the Wild West.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
But now they're all gated, and now they're all
Manassas definitely.
Yeah,
is.
Warrenton is too.
Is it really?
Mm-hmm. It's different.
I mean,
they have a brand new shiny FBO, and I've liked it before when the shutter was half hanging off. We had a cat, named tail dragger that roamed around, and a vending machine, and grease monkeys everywhere.
I mean, I think there's still a lot of. I mean, outside the DC area, there's just way too much going on at Manassas Airport for it to be ungated.
Well, it's the fourth. What is it?
It's the busiest general aviation airport in Virginia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's over Richmond, the state capital. You think all those people flying in and out, but we're right there under Dulles, all the big guys.
Yeah. But it's the government's out there in a big way, and there's a couple of FBOs that have very expensive airplanes. Mm-hmm. So. It's got to be gated, especially if they're going to go a scheduled service.
Yeah.
In a couple of years, I guess.
You can't chance.
No, you can't have some random running on the runway. No, that's not a thing. So,
I'm sorry, I steered the train off course.
No, it's fine. I enjoy talking about this stuff.
That's
I mean,
cool.
the thing about flying, especially because a lot of those planes can be 20, 30 years old.
My dad's was 1947,
Yowza.
I believe. It was
That's
a Piper
cool.
Cup. It was a spotter plane. So no, it was older than the war, maybe 1942, 43. It was a spotter plane, and the whole thing was glass, like on the top, which they didn't normally make them like that, but they made it like that those years because of the looking out and looking for.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So, yeah. No, I mean, just an endless number. It's anything like driving a boat, flying a plane. The probably the best landing I ever made was when my landing light failed when I was about 20 feet above the runway, and it was like 10 o'clock at night, and all you could see is the blue lights on the runway. And when the wheels hit the ground, I was as surprised as anybody else.
You were feeling it.
Yeah, I had no idea.
So you were working with.
But
just don't die.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I mean, it gets your attention, right? But just flying was great. I flew down to Lynchburg and to pick up the president of the company. And I went down there. I was still pretty green. And I was there with an instructor. And I was flying my approach. And I kind of botched it. And the tower calls me and they're like, 86 Hotel, what's going on? And I said, well, I tried to line up on the runway. And my instructor was just kind of like letting me fail.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't dangerous.
Yeah.
And I said, I blew my approach. I'm going to circle to the southwest and try it again. And they said, circle to the other way. Okay. And I still botched it. I circled to the southwest. It turns out I overflew twice some sort of nuclear reprocessing plant.
That was near the airport?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, in Lynchburg?
Yeah, I don't know where exactly it was. And I landed, and when I got there, I pulled up, and there's two very serious government dudes going like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
You flew over this thing twice. And I'm like, I don't. They were immediately like, okay.
You're off the hook.
Yeah, you're not the guy.
You don't mean any harm.
Right. You're an idiot. So.
Confirmed.
Yeah. Anyway, I mean, flying was always a lot of fun, but I mean, being in office takes all your time.
Mm-hmm. So. I can't imagine. Yeah, Dad, he was a radio disc jockey for many, many, many years, and then he flew in his free time, and then he eventually was able to transition into traffic reporting, where he was flying the traffic reporters. Like he flew Julie Wright, who was with Fox 5 for a while, and now I don't even know who she's with, but she's still around.
Yeah.
And he would fly her, and then he eventually started doing the traffic reporting and flying. So, and then he got into private flights. He flew for Aurora. He flew a lot of politicians around.
Oh, cool.
Really enjoyed that. Celebrities, things like that.
Neat. Yeah, I mean, even the FBOs in Manassas, it's not Dulles, right? I met Colin Powell out there. I met Bill Murray out there. We did the company we did all their IT work. So we were out there. Mm-hmm. And, you just run into these guys.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to go up and, like, solicit them.
Oh, it's so hard for me not to.
Well, but, like, I'm representing my client. I can't do that. But
Don't worry, I would have been all over him.
Some of those guys are so nice. They're,
Yeah.
oh, yeah, how you doing?
Yeah.
It was pretty cool.
That's neat.
I mean, before he passed, what's his name? Jimmy Buffett flew into Manassas.
Oh, how
for his shows out.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
You forget, and it's right here in our little town.
Yeah, in fact, Sarah went out there and waited at Manassas Airport one time, and his bus or whatever it was pulls up, and he signed a thing for her.
Oh, that's so cool,
Yeah.
Parrot Head.
Yeah.
Every Parrot Head's dream come true.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool. Anything else you want to talk about? I know
oh
you're
gosh,
a little
I could
bit
talk
on
to
time.
you for 9 million hours, but I had to go do my podcast.
Right.
Yeah.
Any
This was
idea? What are you
awesome.
guys covering? Do you know?
We're going to touch a little bit more on the fire truck thing. That's been an issue, but that's a conversation started, and I met Chief Mills for the first time the other day on 4th of July, and we're going to sit down and have a conversation.
Good.
No, we're a lot more goofy and lazy and goof around. Nikki, I adore her. She's, like I said, a year ago, we didn't even know each other, and we were joking around about starting a podcast. Now I couldn't imagine life without her. She's she's an appendage now. Your sister's one, Kathy, Leanne, and now Nikki. And it's just, we have a really, really, even like this was a fantastic time.
Right.
Were you having a bad time?
No.
I was having a good time.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's the idea, right?
Yeah.
And it's not some sort of gotcha thing. And I keep threatening Keen with pulling him on here.
I love him. Keen for president.
Doug, he is talented.
He is. You want to talk about a smart, level-headed, just deserving of all praise. He's such a good guy at his core.
He is.
He's honest, and that's what I appreciate. I know, he's like my dad. He'll try to make things out so he can appease me.
Right.
But like my dad and like Mitch, I can see through him.
Right.
So, but I just have so much respect for him and what he does, and the quote unquote bullets he takes, because
he does. And he
takes them left and right. And there's me. I mean, I'm guilty of firing, but what I respect is that he responds.
He does.
And he talks to me. He gives me reasons.
To everybody. Remember, we had a meeting over in the old Baker Funeral Home. And
it was our community.
It was after one of those first Fridays, I think. We had a lot of drunk people wandering down your street or something.
Yeah, and we had that.
And there was a lot of anger.
He took time out of his day.
All I did was ask him. He was like, I'll be there.
Such a good guy.
But, the thing is that he was first appointed chief of police, and John Skinner was the chief of police before Doug. And, John was like, we will have order here. There are rules, and this is the way it's going.
He's like Dennis Miller from Sudley Club.
He is. But he looks way more serious than Dennis, because he's got a uniform and a gun.
Yeah, Dennis has a floppy hat.
Right. But, Doug, the way that he approaches the job is so different that, I had known Doug from before, but not as the chief of police. Mm-hmm. I had, I guess the first time I probably had lunch with him after he got appointed. And he told me, my philosophy is that we're the defenders of our community. And I thought, that's different, I feel like, than with the way most police chiefs approach it. Mm-hmm. To me, I'm not an expert in policing, but it resounded with me, because I thought, if this is the way that he actually runs the department, he's it.
Yeah.
He's the man.
Yeah.
And he has proven over, 20 years?
He's proven all this time. And what I find the most interesting that really irks people is he doesn't live here. Mm. He does not live here.
I could care less.
If he lived on Saturn, but still did what he manages, you would never know he doesn't live here.
No.
You would never know that he doesn't have a cot somewhere tucked away. I mean, he is devoted to his job, and I just have mad respect for him.
Yeah.
And I know that I apologize to him all the time, but at the same time, I just love him. I love his attitude. I love his demeanor. And I love chatting with him.
And
I love you, Doug.
he's something else. And and then he took the city manager job.
And then he got that was thrown in his lap for
year?
almost a year. That was ridiculous.
It was ridiculous.
And you're asking our chief of police, and there's no way you can tell me he could take that hat off. It just doesn't happen. And if it did, where he was able to just turn off being a police, he's not a good police chief. Because if your heart is in it, you can't turn that off.
Yeah. Well, and he's got, Lawler took over.
Lawler
that
took
just
over.
proves, he's built a competent command staff, man. Obviously, I'm partial. I mean, I've known the Lawler family for a long time. But those are capable people. Mm-hmm. So, are you going to start your own political podcast?
I would very much love to. I would love to start all sorts of podcasts. No one loves hearing me talk more than myself.
Right. I get it.
But we've run into an issue. We need sponsors. All this stuff costs money.
Yeah.
And, we're trying the best we can. But I would love to get some sponsors and continue with until they kick us out, and maybe even start something up new. I would love to. Until they kick us out is kind of limited because Nikki works a full-time job, John works a full-time job. I'm the only one who's really flexible.
Right.
And so, it's prevented us from being able to have a guest on or to really morph into anything else other than what we are, which is amazing and fun.
It is.
But I would love to do that, and in order to do that, I'm going to have to figure it out.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to do video with this, but I mean,
it takes a lot of work.
Well, it's expensive, and this is just my office.
Yeah, you have to run your business out of here as well. There's a lot going on.
Right. Well, setting up video is going to cost $2,000 more or less, and it's just I'm not there.
Yeah,
I would love to do that. And maybe I'll toy around with just putting one camera so that people can at least see. But I don't think I'm there yet.
I loved it because I just came fresh from being out in the sun,
right.
Interviewed by a news reporter, covered in bug bites. My hair looks atrocious. So I am very thankful that I am pre-video. on your side of the fence.
Yeah, I mean the studio over there looks amazing.
We're so blessed to be able to walk in, have an amazing conversation, and walk out.
Yeah.
So Jeff Salisbury has been incredible. That whole facility's amazing. Like it's just a whole different world.
It's wild.
It's
like
a whole
concert.
different world.
There's an MMA fight. There's
you name it. He's had it out there, including festivals, private parties. I mean, the concerts and the musical talent that he brings in is like next level.
Yeah.
I wish I could name some of the bands, but I can't. Age of Ruin, Daniel Ruin. I could say that. And he's a neighbor. He does the really pretty flowers on Sudley.
Oh, is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, thank you for having me.
No. Thanks for coming. I know you got to run and do your.
No, my timing's perfect. I can go fix my hair and powder my nose.
All right, cool. Well, thanks for coming on.
Thanks, Andy.
Yep.